Hello and welcome to another episode with Grade 6. Today we will be looking at SeaWorld Secrets, Writing Composition. Now, it is important to remember that when writing, there are different types of writing today. But today we'll be looking at narrative writing, how to write a story. That is our focus today. How do you write a story? What comes in mind when you say story? First thing that comes up in mind is Goldilocks and the Three Bears. That's a story. Another story is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. These are all stories, but the kind of writing used here is narrative writing. So what are the elements of writing a story? Remember that a story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Now, it's important to have a beginning and an end. Why? Because if you have no beginning, you did not grab the attention of the reader, and if you don't have an end, they just think like, oh, they wasted their time reading. But sometimes we can have endings that are open for the reader to think about. So, in the beginning, there are 3 steps or 3 things that you need to remember. In the beginning of a story, you need to have a main idea of a story. So it tells us what the story is about. The second thing is the characters. You need to know the characters. Introduce them to the reader. You have 1, 2, 3. Who are your characters? What do they look like? What are they like? Okay, and then the third thing is the setting. Where did your story happen? And when did it happen? So it's important to think about these things when planning for your story. The second part of your story is the middle. It is something that must happen, the plot of the story in the middle. So you have your characters, you have where they are, when did it happen, and then what happened in the story. Something suddenly happens or something that is the plot. Okay? And there are a lot of details and descriptions and events that happen in the story. So let's look at Goldilocks. Goldilocks and the Three Bears. She was in the forest. She was hungry. She went into their house. That is our beginning. And in the middle, it is when she went in, she found the chairs, she sat on the chairs, they broke, she sat on the big chair, then the smaller, and then the smallest chair, then she went to sleep, she tried the beds. These are all the details that happened. And then when they came back home and found her, that is when the story starts to finish, correct? So then we finish with an ending. So the ending of the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears is when they found her and she ran away. Okay, so it should be clear. Should it be a happy ending? Should it be a sad ending? Or should it be an open ending for the reader to decide what happened in the end? Okay, so these are the 3 things: a beginning, a middle, and an end. So let's see an example for writing a story. Together here, we have Josh and Mark. These are the characters. And the setting of the story here, it's in New Zealand and it's on the beach. Okay, and it's on one sunny morning. Okay, so these are 3 different details about the setting, where and when the story happened. And then we have the plot. Josh found something under a tree. It was a map. It's a treasure map. The boys read the map. They start to walk. They saw a big tree. They saw the box. They quickly go take it to the police station. They look inside the box and there are old gold coins. So these are all details in the middle, and this is the plot of the story. And in the end, 2 days later, the boys get a present, $300 each. Okay, so here we have our story and it is all complete. Now, before starting to plan and writing, let's use connectors to make it more cohesive. So in our writing, we are going to have the introduction, the middle, and the end. The introduction, where you introduce your topic. So it's last summer, you can use last week, last Monday, once upon a time. This is the introduction of your topic. And then you're going to connect. So he and she did something when something, and when someone or so-and-so did something. So here you connect. Suddenly, when. So these are things that connect your paragraph in the middle. And in the conclusion, You're going to say 2 days later, after a week, in conclusion, a week later. So here you conclude your story. So now you have an idea on how to use connectors. Maybe it's not very clear at the moment, but once we start to write, it will be more clear. So let's start with the writing process. The first step, brainstorming. The second step is drafting. The third step is revising and editing. Well done. So let's look at our topic today. Plan and write a story about a diver who had a trip under the sea and found a treasure there. Your story should not be less than 6 sentences, all right? The following words might help you: dive, shipwreck, reach, drown, and award. So take some time to look at the pictures on the slide and try to think about what you want to brainstorm for your story. And we are back. So in the beginning, we are going to put all of our ideas together while looking at the pictures. So a diver dives in the Pacific Ocean. Here, this is my setting, okay, and my character. In my body, I'm going to have my details. Dives around many kinds of fish near a shipwreck. Reaches the bottom, takes photos of a pufferfish. Suddenly, something glows. Finds a gold medal. His crew was happy. And in my conclusion, I'm going to say he takes the gold award to the museum to keep it there for people to see. Okay, so here I have all my ideas. Now it's time for me to write, and it's time for you to write with me. So now we take all of our ideas from the graphic organizer and the brainstorming, and we turn them into sentences. So let's look together at the paragraph. Last summer, Ahmed was diving near a shipwreck in the Pacific Ocean. He was dived near many kinds of fish when he saw a pufferfish blow up. It was so close to him, so he quickly took a photo of it. Suddenly, something glowed with the camera's flash. When the diver looked closely, it was a gold medal shining deep under the ocean. He was so happy to tell his friends, and everyone was happy too. The medal was kept in a museum. A week later, Ahmed got a reward from the museum administration. So now it's time for you to pause the video in order to use the CUPS strategy, where you're going to capitalize, check for capitalization, U to use correct grammar, P to punctuate correctly, use capital letters and full stops, S for your spelling. So don't forget to check your capital letters, your full stops, and your grammar. Okay, and we are back. And remember that we need to have an introductory sentence, you need to have your plot where you have all the details and descriptions, and finally you need your concluding sentence. So let's look together at the mistakes in the paragraph. So last summer, Ahmed was diving near a shipwreck. Here we have a spelling mistake. Okay, we should add a C. In the Pacific Ocean here, we have another mistake where we have, this is a proper noun. It's a name of a very important ocean. It's not any ocean, it's the Pacific Ocean. So here we need to capitalize the P for Pacific, and we need to capitalize O for the ocean because it's a proper noun. Names of places, names of things, names of important things, okay, countries, these are all proper nouns and we need to capitalize them. He was dived near many kinds of fish. Here we have a grammar mistake because when here is in the middle of the sentence, and remember when we have when, what comes before it should be in the present continuous and what comes after it should be in the past simple. So he was diving near many kinds of fish when he saw a pufferfish blow up. Okay, let's look at another mistake in the paragraph. Here, I'm going to read and I need you to listen and notice something. Suddenly something glowed with the camera's flash. When the diver looked closely, it was a gold medal shining deep under the ocean. Oh, I couldn't breathe. It's a very long sentence. So here I need to shorten the sentence with a full stop because there are two ideas. When we have two ideas, we have put a full stop in the middle. So suddenly something glowed with the camera's flash. Full stop. When the diver looked closely, It was a gold medal shining under the ocean. So you notice here that I was reading it very comfortably and I wasn't trying to grasp for some air. Okay, so let's look at it together. So here we have correct spelling for shipwreck. It is there. Our capital letter for Pacific Ocean, where it is a proper noun. Remember, proper nouns are names of places, names of people, names of countries, names of continents. So that's something that is important. Okay, so here we have it capitalized. He was diving near many kinds of fish. I used my present continuous, followed by when and my past simple. I used my full stop after cameras flash, and I started a new sentence. And I have my full stop here after happy too. Okay, so let's look at the rubrics. Did I plan correctly? Do I have all the ideas mentioned in my paragraph? And do I have the correct exposition of ideas and coherence? Does it all make sense? I'm talking about the same topic. I'm not talking about someone diving and then someone going to an island. I'm talking about the person dove and what did he find, what was there. It's all coherent, and I use transition words. First, next, after that, and finally. I have 6 sentences. If I added more, that's fine. If I have less, I need to go back and add more sentences. Do I have my topic sentence, which has to be something that grabs my attention of the reader? Do I have all the supporting details for my body in the middle of the paragraph? And at the end, do I have my concluding sentence? Is my spelling correct? Do I have the correct grammar? Here in this episode, we talked about using when and while, and followed by present continuous or followed by the past simple. What comes after them, what comes before them? Did I have them all in the correct order? Is my handwriting clear for the reader? Remember, a reader doesn't want to have a messy paper to read. They want something that is very nice and clear. Okay, and do I have my punctuation marks? Do I have my capital letters? Do I have my full stops? Do I have my commas after my transition words? Is the format of my sentence clear for the reader? That is all there. And now let's look at the paragraph together and let's check that we have followed the narrative writing method. Okay, and the elements of the paragraph is all correct. I have the characters. It's only Ahmed, right? The only character I have here is Ahmed. So last summer, here I have the setting of the story. Last summer, and it was near a shipwreck in the Pacific Ocean. So I have the time, when it happened, and I have where it happened. This is my setting. And this is all in the beginning of my paragraph, followed by the middle, where I have all the plot. What happened, where it happened, and the description. So he was diving near many kinds of fish. He saw a puffer fish blow up. Then he took a photo. There was a flash. Something was shining. Everyone was happy to see it when he showed them. Okay, and this is all in the middle of my paragraph. So he was diving near many kinds of fish. He saw the puffer fish blow up. It was so close to him. These are all details. And remember, we use transition words, when, okay? And then at the end, I have a week later, Ahmed got a reward from the museum administration. So here, what do I have? I have a week later, Ahmed got a reward from the museum administration, which is the concluding sentence for my paragraph, the ending. So look at the paragraphs. Does it all make sense? Is it all coherent? Okay. So let's look at it together. Last summer, Ahmed was diving near a shipwreck in the Pacific Ocean. He was diving near many kinds of fish when he saw a puffer fish blow up. It was so close to him, so he quickly took a photo of it. Suddenly, something glowed with the camera's flash. When the diver looked closely, it was a gold medal shining deep under the ocean. He was so happy to tell his friends, and everyone was happy too. The medal was kept in a museum. A week later, Ahmed got a reward from the museum administration. So here I have followed all the story elements of my paragraph. Okay, now in today's episode, we learned how to write a narrative story. We expanded our writing by writing details for our story. Thank you for watching.